Today, I'm going to share with you how to gamify your online course for max engagement. I have a 5-step process that I'm going to share with you today so that you can make sure that your company, your organization is getting the most out of your time and monetary investment in your online courses and e-learning programs. Okay, so to kick it off with step one. Step one is to set your key performance indicators. When we're looking at an e-learning program, we're looking at what results do we want to get from the program. I'm not talking about what results we want our learners to get yet. That is obviously important, and the most important part of any online course or e-learning program is our learner. But what we want to establish is, what do we as an organization want to get out of investing our time, our money, our team in an online course or an e-learning program. Now, there's really 4 scenarios that we're going to see when we set our key performance indicators. But before we get there, what we need to do together today is figure out, are you and your team looking to create an internal or an external e-learning program or online course library? An internal e-learning program is one built to train your team members, your employees, your contractors, okay? An external e-learning program would be one that you are building to sell to your learners. Now, you could be doing both. Okay, I have multiple clients that they start by creating an internal e-learning program, and then they decide to use the same content and sell it to create a new revenue stream for their company. I also have clients that start by selling online courses, and they're like, hey, I can use these same online courses to train my team members. Either way, what we need to do is come up with goals that we want to achieve for these situations. Now, if we're looking at an internal e-learning program, what we want to do is set goals related to, okay, if we invest in developing an e-learning program or training at our organization, that means that we're going to be spending time and energy and money on building courses. We're going to be spending money on a system to deliver those courses, and I actually have some great systems I'm going to share with you today to do that. But what we really want to do is figure out, what is the purpose? What is the key performance indicator we want to see at our company, and what do we want it to be? Where is it starting, and where do we want it to go? So if we're looking at creating a sales program, for example, to train our sales team, to train our sales staff, what we may look at is, hey, our current key performance indicator is number of closed deals a month, okay, versus how many people, how many leads is our sales associate talking to. So what we want to do is set that key performance indicator, okay? So what is that? Does that mean that 1 out of every 100 leads becomes a client? Well, let's set that, and now what we want to do is create a program that boosts that 1 out of 100 to maybe 10 out of 100. 15 out of 100, okay? It may look different for your organization. Maybe you're at 5 to 10 already, and you want it to be at 15 or 20. Well, we want to set that key performance indicator so we know what our online course or our e-learn program even needs to be about. And then what we can do is look at the data within our system, and I have multiple systems that I recommend that we're going to go through today. And we want to look at that data against what is actually happening in our business. So is our sales team becoming more efficient, transforming leads into customers? And are they completing their training? Is that why it's happening? So once we set the key performance indicator, really what we're going to do is we're going to be evaluating it at different times. Now, what if you're building an online course or e-learning program to sell? Well, you're still going to want to create some sort of key performance indicator. How many sales do you want to get? How many courses do you want to sell? At what price point do you want to sell these courses? Okay. When we're looking at the time and the monetary cost of developing a course, we want to figure out, okay, are we actually going to get the engagement from our customers? Are we actually going to get sales? Are we going to need to gamify our course to get sales from our customers? Now, the reason why I'm talking about key performance indicators with gamification is because the whole point of gamifying our courses is to improve our key performance indicators. We either want to sell more courses, we either want to gamify our courses so that we sell more courses, if that's our goal, an external e-learning program, or we want to gamify our course so that we can bring our key performance indicators, so we can increase the success of our sales team by making the courses fun. There's no point of actually gamifying your course if the results that your learners are getting, that your team members are getting, are actually applicable to the real world. Because someone could be earning all the badges, be at the top of the leaderboards and all these things in your course, but not making any improvements in their actual job, which is why we want to start with setting those key performance indicators. Now, once we get those key performance indicators set, we move on to step 2, which is outlining your courses and creating learning outcomes based on your KPIs. And the great thing is we can use ChatGPT, Grok, Gemini, any sort of AI, generative AI tool to do this. Okay, today I'm going to put the prompts into ChatGPT and Grok. Personally, I like Grok more for business, ChatGPT more for personal, but we are going to let both of these softwares help us, and I typically like to use multiple softwares, especially when they're free, to help me when I'm outlining different things and coming up with different ideas for my business as well. Okay, so let's say that our key performance indicator for that internal e-learning program is exactly what we came up with, which is, can you help me outline an e-learning program or online course to help my company, specifically my sales department, improve the following key performance indicator. Currently, we'll just say that your company is on the lower end of conversions with leads. Okay, so currently we are converting 1 out of every 100 leads into paying customers. I want this to improve to 10 to 15 out of every 100 leads. Please create a course to do this. Let's say that you are an HVAC company. My company sells heating and AC services. Okay? We're going to take this, put it in the Grok. You can always use deep search and reasoning as well to get even better answers. For today's purposes, we're just going to have the basic responses that our systems are going to give us. Okay, here we go. Here's structured outline. So we want to go from 1% to 10 to 15%. Course title, the high impact sales for HVAC services from cold leads to loyal customers. Objective, here we go. Target audience, HVAC sales reps. Module 1, mastering sales mindset. 2, identifying, qualifying high intent leads. Module 3, perfect first impression, winning in the first 30 seconds. Module 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have a bonus module. Here we go. Here's the recommended delivery format, expected outcomes, and KPI improvements. Okay, cool. Now let's look and see what Grok did. Okay, delivery method, 6 weeks. Okay, so it's given us how long the course is, week 1. So that's good to know. So now it's like, okay, we're gonna have a 6-week program. So we want our KPIs to improve within that 6-week timeline. And it's giving us a week by week program. Okay, so what we can do is take what we like from ChatGPT, take what we like from Grok, and use this to build our actual e-learning programs into our softwares. And yet again, if you are really just trying to build a program to sell, same thing. You can outline the program here, and I actually have a whole video where I talk about how to develop online course is 10 times faster using generative AI. It is linked in the description below and it is linked right here. And that's going to tell you exactly how to actually come up with price points for your courses as well to sell using generative AI and getting everything put together so that you can successfully sell your online courses. Have your generative AI help you figure out the market fit, evaluate competitors, all these different things. So I highly recommend you check out that video. Anyway, the reason why we want to develop the course based on the key performance indicator is because when we look at gamifying this and getting our employees, our contractors, our team members involved in the fun of earning badges and all these different things, we want to make sure that the course is actually serving what we're looking to improve at our organization. So with Grok here, we could actually look at the analytics of how our team is improving on a week-to-week basis as they go through the course. So we can actually look at, okay, well, after they finished week 1, did their KPIs improve? How did they improve? Okay. And by the end, let's hope that they've improved at least a little bit from 1%. Even if they don't go to 10 to 15%, if you get this up to 2, 3, 4, 5%, that's a big win for an e-learning program, okay? But we want to make sure that we're getting something out of our investment in online learning. Okay, so once we do this, step 3 is to select the right system to execute our gamification plan. Okay, we have our KPIs set, we have our course built out with the goal of improving our KPIs. Now we need a system to integrate our course. I have 2 systems for you. These are specifically internal learning management systems, internal e-learning platforms to help you train your employees and your contractors. The first one is TalentLMS and the second one is TalentCards. Now I want you to be able to demo these systems for yourself and actually start building out everything you need to start training your employees, your contractors, and your team members, which is why I am offering you an unlimited free trial of both of these systems in the description below this video. In addition to an unlimited free trial, which I'll describe what that is in a second, you're going to get access to my TalentLMS Made Simple online course and my TalentCards Made Simple online course, which is going to help you A to Z set up everything you need within the system to get your gamification set up, to get your analytics set up, to get all your courses and e-learning programs set up. And I'm also going to help you get the most value out of your free version of both of these platforms and give you an investment strategy of how to navigate the different options that TalentLMS and TalentCards have for paid features. I'm going to teach you all that in the respective TalentLMS and TalentCards Made Simple online courses. Now, the unlimited free trial basically means that you get access to TalentLMS and TalentCards in perpetuity. The only thing you're limited by is the number of users. Okay, so if you have a small company, it may be enough just using the free version. You get 5 users. Okay, so a lot of my clients actually, they'll use TalentCards as their free learning management system. They'll build out their courses there, and they have a small company. They only need 5 users. Okay, now once they grow, then they're not going to have to pay very much to add additional users, which is great. And that's why I love these systems as well. Okay, so I'm going to teach you all of that within the TalentLMS Made Simple and TalentCards Made Simple online courses. But let's jump into TalentLMS. So what we can do, once we have our course outlines figured out based on our KPIs, we can go to our courses, and I go in detail how to build a course in TalentLMS in my TalentLMS Made Simple online course that you get for free with your trial. So definitely go there. But basically, once you're logged into TalentLMS, you're most likely going to see the new interface. If for some reason you're on the legacy interface, all you need to do is click on New Interface below, right here, New Interface. You may need to activate it, so once you activate it, then you can go try now. Opens up the new interface, and this gives you access to all the fun things, okay? TalentLMS specifically has my favorite AI authoring tool on the market, and you get it absolutely free. We go to Add Course, we go Add Talent Craft, It's going to build what TalentLMS calls a unit. I call it a module. I think Grok and ChatGPT might have also called it a module. Yeah, so Grok called it a module. It's just an individual learning unit, okay? And what we can do, because Grok already built an outline. Remember, you always want to use generative AI to give you a starting point, and then you actually want to go in and customize this for your business, for your sales team, or for whatever KPI you are going after improving. But what we can do is rename this unit. I'm going to use what Grok gave us here. Boom, save. Here's our first unit, or our module. We go start from scratch. Now, basically, any of those 4 options that were on screen are going to help us with AI, so it's just different entry points into using AI. I go through all that in the course. But what we can do is ask TalentCraft to create a page about this. Start creating. We literally just took what Grok came up with, plugged it into TalentCraft, and now TalentCraft AI is building our entire module for us. Amazing. And you can do this with every single module. So we can go TalentCraft, let's create another module. Start from scratch, import from documents. So if you already have everything in a PDF or some sort of document that you want to make it into e-learning form, this is where you would use this. So you upload the document, and then TalentCraft will create the program based on the document. You can also use a template. So TalentCraft has different templates where it's all pre-populated, and there's an onboarding a person template, working remote, delivering feedback, all these different things. So you can start your course from a template if you want. Generate with AI and start from scratch are basically the same thing. Okay, so let's do one more of these. Module 2, know your customer. Like, you can build online courses so quickly nowadays, it's not even funny. I mean, I love it. It's very empowering because it really allows you to just deliver better courses because you have a starting point that you can really customize from, and you just have more brain power, more computing power in the room with you when developing online courses. So I'm going to do create a page about, plug this in, start creating. It's going to do the same thing, and I can just go on and on and on. I can also break this up based on weeks. Okay, so we have week 1. I can go in here. I can create something called a section. So we're going to go add more section, and then rename. Boom, this is week 1. Here's all of our week 1 trainings. Then we're going to go add section, and then we're going to create a week 2. Okay, so week 2, go back in here. Section, rename, week 2, and then we're going to delay the availability of everything in week 2. We're going to do days, and we're going to do 7 days. Okay, so week 2 isn't going to be available until day 7. Then we can do week 3, and that's not going to be available until day 14. So we can put all the modules of week 2 here, and they're not going to be available until day 7. Then same thing with week 3, day 14. You can time out all of your trainings, okay? And that is how we use TalentLMS to author courses. I go into greater detail in the TalentLMS Made Simple online course that you will get with your free trial. Now, let's go into TalentCards, and then we're going to go into the gamification of everything. So I go into TalentCards. In TalentCards, we have some different vernacular. Card sets are the same thing as courses in TalentCards. Okay, so I'm going to go create a set, which is a new course. We're going to do a similar thing here. We're going to go into Grok. We're going to pull our course title to TalentCards. Then we're going to pull our course description or course objective into TalentCards. And then we're going to use the robot here, or work with the robot, to create a card with, to create a set instantly. And I go into even more details of how to create a card set in my TalentCards Made Simple online course. So definitely go grab your free trial. And we're going to go like this, generate based on the card set topic, and we're going to generate 5 cards with AI here. Okay. Now the great thing about TalentCards is a mobile first learning management system, because you're probably wondering, why would I use TalentLMS versus TalentCards? Well, the gamification mechanisms are similar. TalentLMS is going to empower us to segment our learning environment with branches. Well, TalentCards is also going to allow us to segment our learning environment with something called groups, and I will pull that up here too. We go to System Settings, and I'll show you how we can have different groups. Okay. Now it's a little different because TalentCards just is a lot simpler system, and it is mobile focused. Okay. If you want a more customizable system that's going to integrate with your internal softwares at your organization, TalentLMS is probably the better option. It has amazing API documentation, and the TalentLMS team will actually, depending on how big your organization is, so if you're a pretty large organization, then they're going to help you actually do all of this. Okay, they're going to work with you, get you what you need to do the integrations. TalentCards is an amazing mobile-focused system. Okay, you have all these card sets that mimic social media. We put our videos on it. You get a point when you finish a card set. We have these leaderboards that are going to be used to, hey, so here's our #1 leader, but are they the #1 person increasing their KPI? We're going to be able to compare that data so we can make the proper business decision. Okay, I'll go into that a little more in a bit. So here's the cards that it generated for us. We can add more cards here if we want. Okay, we can go through and make a video module for each card. So maybe module 1 is going to be a card. Okay, so we can pull all this in if we like. So copy it. And really, with TalentCards, you could also actually have a card set for each week. Okay, if this is how we want to build out the program. And then we can put all of our card sets into something called a sequence and have the sequence with all of our card sets for this training. Okay. And then we just have it set up where you can't access the next card set until you finish the previous card set. I think we might be able to time it out too, but like I said, TalentLMS has the more advanced options. It still works because we could literally just have everyone have access to one card set at a time, right? So each week we can just give access to the next card set. So what we can do is we can either use what TalentCards created for us, or we can just pull in what we created with our favorite AI tool. I'm actually going to delete all these cards, so we just have our modules and our activities that we got from Grok. We go continue, we can generate a quiz. Not sure how good of a quiz it's going to generate because we didn't give it much information. And then ultimately TalentCards is going to generate AI images for our cards. And then we can put our videos on. What is the first module in the context? Whatever, this is a terrible question, but I'm just going to create it anyway. AI generated backgrounds, it's going to generate 3 images for us, an image for each card. Like I said, the more you populate, the more TalentCards is going to help you with the AI integration. Okay, I understand. And like I said, you could also use what TalentCards came up with and use those cards as well. I created this course a little bit ago, and it was the same thing. It came up with, hey, breathing is crucial for athletes' performance. I pulled a video on here. Okay, just created these images. Okay, now, like I said, what we could do is create another card set. So we can turn it on, and then we can pull all of our card sets into a sequence. Okay, yes, so we're going to call this the sales. We're actually going to call it the name here from leads. Boom. That's the name of our sequence. New sequence, edit details. Okay. And then we can actually change the name of this card set. Set details. This is week 1, so we're actually going to change this to week 1. Save changes. Then we can make sure that this is the first one in our sequence. Drag it. Then this would be week 2. This is a different course, but we can have week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. And they don't get access to these until they finish week 1. You can also just give your learners access to the courses as they need them. So week 1, you need access to this card set. Week 2, you need this one, etc. Okay, very easy to do. We just literally just go to users. We can select all of our users, click on the 3 dots, and go assign users to sets. And then we're just going to give them access to the sets we want them to have access to. Okay? We can do a lot of things here. We can also unassign users from sets. We can send them push notifications, all these different things. Activate and deactivate users as well. So what if you're looking to sell your online courses or e-learning programs and set up gamification? Well, in that case, you want to check out Kajabi or LearnWorlds. I use Kajabi to run both of my online businesses, eLearning Partners and Athlete with Asthma. It does everything I need to run my online business. It hosts my courses. It allows me to market with my website, create landing pages, create funnels, do all my email marketing. It captures all the analytics. It does payment processing, so all my revenue analytics, my program progress, so how people are going through my products, my courses. It does all of that. And I want to offer you a 30-day free trial linked in the description below this video. You can grab your 30-day free trial and your Kajabi Made Simple online course so you can get everything set up so you can market and sell your online courses while you're in your 30-day free trials, so you can start creating that income stream. Now, you could also use LearnWorlds, especially if you're creating an online course using an authoring tool that isn't inside of your program, okay? A standalone authoring tool like Articulate 360 or Adobe Captivate. What you can do is create your course, export it as a SCORM file, upload it to LearnWorlds, and use LearnWorlds to sell and market your online course. It has a lot of the same capabilities of Kajabi. In a couple areas, Kajabi is just better with like the email marketing. I think the user interface of Kajabi is a little better too, which is why I use it, even though I can't author a course in another software and then upload it to Kajabi yet. But LearnWorlds allows you to do that, where you author the course and then upload it to LearnWorlds, okay? I also have a 30-day free trial of LearnWorlds I want to offer you in the description below this video, and my LearnWorlds Made Simple online course to help you get up and running with your LearnWorlds system so you can start selling and marketing your online courses before you even have to start paying for LearnWorlds. Now, the principles I'm going to talk about, you can apply in Kajabi and LearnWorlds. It's just easier to do in TalentCards and TalentLMS. So gamification step 4 is actually setting up the rewards based on your system. Now, TalentCards and TalentLMS have a reward system. Now, I'm going to start by talking through TalentCards. First of all, I shared with you that maybe you have different offices. Maybe you have different franchises. Maybe you just want to segment your learning environment and have some internal competition in different parts of your business. Well, what you can do is set up different groups, okay? So we manage groups, okay? Now, while that's opening, we can do the same thing in TalentLMS with branches. Groups, you could technically use groups as just a way to group your users within branches, so you can actually go even deeper. So maybe you have an office in Denver, in Tampa, in Chicago, in LA, in London. What you can do is create a branch for each of those, and then you can have groups for your departments. So maybe you have a sales department, a marketing department, an accounting department, a fulfillment department. Okay, so I would use groups for departments then, and branches for those different offices or different franchises. Okay, so I'm going to go into branches here. But here we go. So here's all of our different groups. We can add additional groups, okay, which is pretty cool. We can also, as you can see here, this is where we can actually connect TalentCards and TalentLMS together. You can also connect it to eFront, another LMS that's even more customizable than TalentLMS. I like TalentLMS better, but eFront is from the same company, also a high quality product, okay? So you can sync the data between these systems, which is cool because it's all the same company. So this is where you create groups. You can create a new group by Clicking on new group, we can go London office. Boom. Okay, now we have a London office group. Okay, and we can turn these on, we can turn them off. Then we can select which group we're going to work in. Right now I'm working in this one. Okay, what we can do now is go down to gamification and set our gamification settings. Okay, very similar with TalentLMS. Okay, with TalentLMS we can add a branch. Looks like we already have a London branch. What branches do we have? Chicago, Denver. All right, here we go. Los Angeles. Okay, I'm doing this pretty quick. Boom, boom. Okay, we save, and we have new branch. Like I said, each branch can have its own users and its own login for your users, which is pretty cool. Okay, and I go into this even deeper in my TalentLMS Made Simple online course, and same thing with TalentCards, I go into it even deeper there. Okay, so once we get to our gamification, we can set different point levels for all of our card sets. Now, we can actually set specific points for specific card sets. Maybe specific card sets are more important. Maybe there's card sets that are more important within achieving that KPI. Well, you can have that card set have more points. So when your learners complete that card set, they get more points with that set versus another set, giving them more incentive to complete that set so that you can give them greater rewards. And they're going to show higher in the leaderboards. But here we go. You set your points here, quiz points, engagement points. You can even give points whenever someone goes into the app, okay? So they're going to get points when they download the app. They're also going to get points every time they revisit the app, and you set how many hours. So this is just another way to drive that engagement, maximizing that engagement. But really, why do we care about maximizing engagement? Because we want a concrete result in our organization. Save changes. There we go. Now, when you start paying for talent cards, you're also going to be able to create badges and challenges. Well, why would you want to do this? Well, you'd want to do this because maybe when your learners achieve certain badges and their KPIs increase, then you can give them a reward in the real world. Maybe it's a bonus. Maybe it's more paid time off. Maybe you give them a vacation of some sort, like a paid vacation. All right? You want to make sure that when you're gamifying, none of this really matters unless you're giving a reward of something that people actually care about. Badges are kind of cool, like you're gonna get a little dopamine hit, but if I know that as I'm getting points, as I'm going through my program here, right, so if I go through here, as I go through the cards, you'll see, oh, I just got a point. Oh, I just got another point. Oh, I just got another point. Or maybe since this is such an important card set, I can set this so each card gives me 5 points. I'm going to get really excited getting these points, but the points don't mean anything to me unless I'm earning something else, right? I need to be earning something else. But we don't want people just skipping through our card sets, earning points, not learning anything, and then the KPI staying the same. What we can do, let's save this. I'm going to go to our card sets. So I'm going to go into the card set we created, and we can change these principles. We can change our point output on the card set level 2. Okay, go to set details. And this is where we can override the gamification. So we can say, hey, you're actually going to get 5 points for every card here. Okay, and I can change all these other ones too, just to make it even better. Okay, now let's look at how we do this in TalentLMS. And then we're going to get to step 5, which is the most important step. So bear with me here. Okay, so in TalentLMS, we can go to Count and Settings and go to Gamification. Same thing here. Okay, we have points. We enable it. Here's all of our points. Same thing. On each login, maybe we want to give 5 points. On each unit completed, remember units are in TalentLMS, not cards, so probably want to give more points because a card is a much smaller learning unit than a unit in TalentLMS. On each course completion, each certificate, all these different things. Okay, same thing, we can set all these points. We can give badges, and we can give badges for different things as well. Okay, I go into this in more detail in my TalentLMS Made Simple course, but really, like I said, this is just a dopamine hit. We want to have this connected to a reward in the real world, which the best rewards are a bonus or more paid time off. Those are the two best rewards. You'll be surprised how engaged people are in your e-learning program when they get a bonus or more paid time off by completing things. So what you want to do is based on, okay, so you need to achieve this number of points and improve your KPI by 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%. You have different levels of bonuses too based on the KPI improvement and completing the course. Now, we can use levels and we can even use rewards. The rewards really aren't as important in TalentLMS because I don't like to use TalentLMS as a selling learning management system, which means I'm not trying to sell courses to my employees either. And this is really all you would use this for if you're trying to actually sell courses to your employees, which I think you should give courses to your employees for free and actually reward them for completing your courses and improving their KPIs. So step 5 for how to gamify your online course for max engagement is the most important step. But we have to do all the other steps in order for step 5 to even matter, okay? So we have our KPIs set. We've set everything up in our learning management systems. Now what we want to do is evaluate for 4 different things, okay? Scenario 1, our KPIs improve. And we go in and we look at our reports in TalentLMS, we look at our analytics in TalentCards, we look at our leaderboards, and there's a lot of activity in here. People are actually completing our courses, specifically completing this course that we created, this sales course. People are completing it, the KPIs are improving. This is awesome. This is scenario 1. This is what we want to happen. Scenario 2. Our KPIs are improving and nothing's going on in here. We open up our analytics. No one is even touching our courses. We go in here, we find our card sets. We go in and we're like, okay, nothing's even happening. This card set we created, we go into the card set and we're just like, wow, there's nothing going on in here. I go to my card set analytics. This progress bar has nothing. There's no score. There's no started, no completed. Nothing's going on. We go in here. We pretend this is our sales course. Open up a report. Nothing's happening, but our KPIs are improving. Why? Our KPIs are improving, but no one's in there. This is a good result, okay? We just may be wasting our money and our time on our e-learning program. Our gamification isn't working. The reason why KPIs are improving has nothing to do with what we're doing in here. Scenario 3, our KPIs stay the same or get worse. And we go in here and we're like, oh, there's a lot of data. People are completing all of their programs. People are, oh my God, the progress here, score, the completed time, the start time, all this stuff. Now we may want to dig a little deeper, right? Because they're completing stuff, but KPIs aren't moving. Well, what this means is one of 2 things. One, maybe they're just skipping through everything. And you can tell, because you'll be like, okay, progress, okay. Looks like they started the course and they finished it 5 seconds later. Okay, so they didn't actually do anything. Okay, so that's why the analytics are really important. And even if we gamify things, we're giving them rewards, they could be cheating the system. And this is really easy to see. As you'll see, okay, they started it and they've completed it like that. But maybe they kept it open and they just kind of had it open and, you know. So they may game the system and you may not be able to tell, okay? So that's option 1. Option 2 is maybe your content is real bad. Maybe when you set that KPI and then went to step 2 and built that curriculum for the course, maybe it was bad curriculum, okay? So what we want to do is see if this is applicable to everyone. We can look at the user-to-user basis and be like, okay, our users, which users are actually doing things? And are there some users that are completing things that are actually doing well? Well, we want to talk to them and ask them questions. Regardless, we want to evaluate and get some feedback from our users. Unless our KPIs are improving and there's a bunch of activity in our learning management system, everyone's getting better, then maybe we don't need to pry deeper. But maybe we do. Maybe we want to figure out, because maybe some of our learners, some of our team members are getting better and they're in the system, and others haven't touched anything and they're getting worse or they're staying the same, which is scenario number 4, right? Scenario number 4 is that our KPIs are staying the same or getting worse and nothing is happening here. Well, if that's the case, but we also have some data showing that some of our team members are in here completing courses and their KPIs are improving, all we have to do is tell our learners, our team members who aren't getting better at their job, hey, so Jimmy, Mary, and Renee, their numbers have 3 to 4x'd. Their sales numbers are improving. They took this course. You need to take this course too if you want your numbers to improve. You're going to start making more money. Your commissions are going to go up. You're going to be rewarded because you're actually in here. You're going to earn badges. You're going to get more points. And by doing that, you are going to enjoy more bonuses, more paid time off. It's actually a lot of fun going in the system and earning these points because you're going to get better at your job. You're going to get rewards in the real world. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, maybe I should actually do that. So these are the 4 different scenarios we want to compare our data on. Now the cool thing is, if you're in scenario 4 here, which is KPIs are staying the same or not improving, and no one's in the course, we just got to figure out how to get people in your courses. Okay, which means that we have to make sure that our rewards for the gamification actually occurring are incentivizing people to actually be in here. So that when they're in their app and they see the leaderboard and they're like, oh man, I need to get higher on the leaderboard because I want to start earning more bonuses, more paid time off, maybe find out what your employees want. Maybe they want to earn a vacation of some sort. Maybe you'll pay for them to go stay in an Airbnb somewhere. Maybe you'll pay for them to fly to Hawaii, right? Maybe you'll take them out for their favorite meal. Okay, you need to come up with ways to actually get people in here so they actually care about showing up on the leaderboard. And then once we get people in here, we get data in here, then we're not in this 4th scenario anymore. Then we move up to one of these other 3. And hopefully it's this top one, okay? The scenario of KPIs improving and they are actually showing up on the leaderboard, they're earning points, they're earning badges, they're having fun. Your company's growing, you can create more content, more programs using my 5-step process of how to gamify your online course for max engagement. It really is this simple. This is the process I take all of my clients through. This is the process I take everyone through in my courses. Remember, grab your free courses for TalentLMS and TalentCards. If you have an internal program, if you have an external program you're looking to sell and market your online course, and maybe you want to do some of this internal training as well, well, you can do the same thing with Kajabi and with analytics within LearnWorlds. In Kajabi, we can go to our product progress and then look at our different products, our different courses. Same thing, we can go in here and be like, okay, is anyone actually doing anything in here or not? And by the way, if your learners and your team members fall into this second category, the second scenario where KPIs are improving and nothing's happening in your e-learning program, you have a couple options here as well. You could technically get rid of the program if you want. But you could also ask your learners, ask your team members, hey, so you were able to like 5x your KPIs. You got way better at sales. What did you do? Oh, well, I actually bought this course, or I actually found these YouTube videos, or I actually started using ChatGPT and Grok, and it really helped me figure out how to get better. Well, great. Now you know what your courses should actually be about. You can take that information from your best performing employees, capture that into a course, and bring everyone else's numbers up. So that is what we want to do and why we want to evaluate these 4 scenarios so we can maximize the engagement of our e-learning program, which really what we care is that our companies become more efficient and effective, and then our companies actually grow, get results, that our employees get results. If we're selling online courses, that we're actually getting results for our learners so that they buy more online courses. So remember to grab your free trials of TalentLMS, TalentCards. If you want to check out Kajabi and LearnWorlds, grab those as well, and you'll get access to my free online courses for each of those platforms as well. I'll see you in the next one.